It's ShunChengFa with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. In this episode, I'm going to show you guys how to best store your juices under vacuum or even dry goods. In this case, I have freeze-dried strawberries or maybe other valuable food ingredients that you don't want to spoil and go rancid and lose flavor, such as coffees, nuts and seeds, grains, dried fruits, right? Rice, beans. Very important, guys, to store these for the longest amount of time. You want to remove the excess oxygen out of the container. You guys are pretty smart. You guys are probably already knowing this, and that's why you're watching this episode. But what many of you guys may not know is that a lot of Amazon sellers are literally trying to pull the wool over your eyes when you buy some kind of jar sealer from them, right? Because they don't disclose everything. Yes, all these machines on the table will remove the excess oxygen out of the container. That's a good thing. But what they don't tell you in most cases, some cases they do, and we'll be testing that in a minute, they don't tell you how much oxygen is removed out of the container. This is critical. Maybe not so much for dry goods, but it's especially critical when storing things like fresh juices and vacuum blended smoothies. You want to remove the most amount of oxygen because even any oxygen you leave in there will cause oxidation and less nutrition of some of the oxygen-sensitive nutrients, as well as the oxygen. If there's a high level of oxygen, then also mold can grow inside your container. So that's what I'll be testing today. The number one thing they don't tell you on Amazon is how much oxygen is removed. And if they do tell you, can you even trust it, right? Two of these units, I think these two guys here were rated at like, I think it's 80 and 85 kPa. And for those of you guys that know the conversions, that is a lot of oxygen. If they do, remove that much oxygen, I'm going to bow my head to them and then tell you guys to buy these because they're going to remove more than other pumps I have on the table. I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pumps I'll be testing for you guys in this episode. I don't want this video to be too long, so we're just going to go ahead and rapid fire the pumps. But before we do, the second thing that Amazon sellers don't tell you is that when you buy a pump, you would generally get the lids with it, right? So I can't even pick up this lid. This is one of the lids that comes with a pump. It's just a standard tin lid. It's painted on the bottom. There may be a BPA coating. Once again, this is made in China, so we don't know. But there's a few problems with those lids, actually. Number one, the BPA coating. Number two is the thinness of the lid. These are very thin and can bend very easily on you. Next thing, the other problem is the gasket material. This is just the standard red gasket material that comes on your standard mason jar lids. And the red gasket material is designed to be used once when canning and then thrown away. The gasket is not a flexible gasket where it will give and take a bunch of times. Once it's compressed under heavy vacuum, it won't bounce back and it won't give you the sealing feature and then may end up leaking. That's why I don't like using these lids. Further, the other thing they don't tell you is when you seal one of the lids on top of the jar with one of the pumps, the lid's sealed. The problem is this is under vacuum. So now you can't even pull it off. I mean, maybe if you're a lady, if you're a guy and have short nails, you could probably pull it off. Maybe you'll break your nails. But if you're a lady with longer nails, you're definitely not one going to break your nails on pulling this off, right? So then they give you a little tool. What does this tool look like? It basically looks like how you get off a bottle cap on beer bottles or whatever. So then you got to use this tool and then pry it up. And when you pry it up, if you pry it up too hard, as you guys can see, I just bent this lid. This lid is no longer functionable because it's so thin. These are just cheap Chinese garbage lids, guys. That's another thing they're not going to tell you. So, I mean, while these systems can work, there's two inherent problems. Number one, they're not telling you how much vacuum, which in my test, as you'll see in a minute, they pull very low vacuum. Second problem is that lid is garbage. So one of the companies here has come out with a solution, and it's actually these lids here. This is the pure vacuum lid. This is stainless steel. It has a proper gasket on there, so it can be used and reused indefinitely, literally. And then it also has a one-way valve, so now you don't have to like use the stupid tool to pry up off the lids, you just lift up on this little valve, the air rushes in, and now the lid easily removes. So just wanted to share with you guys those two big problems with the mason jar sealers on Amazon. Next up, I guess let's get into this test and test all these mason jar sealers. First up, we're going to go ahead and use a tester. This basically tests the vacuum pressure, and I have it set for differential pressure. And then it's the AI-189B. No problem if you want to get this tester or any of the vacuum pumps, especially the best ones that perform best in the test today. Links down below to my Amazon shop. You guys could get those really easily. All right, so first up, we're going to go ahead and put this into a mason jar. Next up, we're going to go ahead and put on a pure vacuum lid. Next up, we will just use the first mason jar sealer. So these generally just go on top, and you press the button on. As you guys can hear, the pump comes on, and as you guys can see, the number on the screen is incrementing there. And then some of these pumps will auto shut off, and some of these pumps will just keep running forever. So we'll see, we'll let this go as long as it runs until it shuts off, and or until the number stops increasing. The number you're seeing on the display there is the amount of oxygen removed. So the higher number is better. If it goes up to 20, then that means that you remove 20% of the oxygen. If it goes up to 80, it removes 80% of the oxygen, right? Most of the pumps I've tested in the past remove about 50 to 60% of the oxygen. So let's see what this pump can do. It looks like this pump is counting up. So it's been on around a total of 48 seconds now. Let's see what we're at. All right, so this pump ended at 59.2 on the display. So let's go ahead and take this pump off. Let's go ahead next and reset our tool. All right, next up, let's use this one. I think this was the one that rated at 85 or 80 kPa. Let's go ahead and put this on the top. We got to take out the adapter because it has an adapter for a smaller size. And put it on the top and press the button to turn it on. All right, we're going to see what this one gets. Will it really get up to 80 or 85 kPa as it is advertised? Or is it just marketing fluff because they want to sell you something that does not perform? This happens a lot on Amazon, in my opinion. All right, as you guys can see, cut off at 61.1. Definitely not the 80 kPa as I expected. And then some of these guys have like a vacuum lock, so it's harder to remove them off. And we're going to go ahead and once again reset the tool. All right, next test, another one that was rated on Amazon for 85 or 80. Let's go ahead and put this on. I've got to take off the adapter here, I think. And this is out of the box, and I charged it. We're going to go ahead and turn it on and check it out, guys. It doesn't work. This is the one I wanted to test. It doesn't work at all. It just doesn't even turn on. Like, it counts up, but the motor doesn't activate. The battery is active, but for some reason the pump is not working. This is one of the challenges you're going to get when you buy from Amazon, right? May not be quality control tested, may not work. The other thing that I want you guys to realize is that these have basically zero warranty. You buy it, you own it, you have a 30-day return policy with Amazon. If it stops working after that, you basically have to throw it away, right? These have batteries. If the battery fails over the duration, then it's basically throw away and you got to buy a new one. Actually, all these have batteries except for one here from Amazon. So this one I can't even get a test on. So we're going to rate it at 0.0. Unfortunately, defective right out of the box. Definitely is not getting the claimed 80 to 85 kPa that was advertised. Doesn't get any, a matter of fact. Next up, let's use this other mason jar sealer here and see what this one gets. Put it on top, press the button to turn it on. And it is pumping out. Let's see what we got. All right, guys, so this runs and runs and runs, and it looks like it's not going above 9 at this point. I think the problem with this one, once again, you're buying something on Amazon, probably little to no quality control. This is getting 9, right? I have tested this pump before, and it is because it doesn't make a good seal, right? So that's another thing you don't know when you buy a pump that has to fit around the whole circumference of the jar. There's all these tolerances that may not be accurate, and then it may not make a good seal, and then you will get something like 9, which is really not that much oxygen removal. I mean, 9 is better than no oxygen removal, but that to me is defective, and it should go back. It's not acceptable. Yeah, look at that. The lid came off. It didn't even stay stuck down there because the vacuum was so weak, all right? All right, guys, next up, let's go ahead and use this vacuum pump, once again from Amazon. Put it on and press the button. Comes on instantly. I do like that. And let's see what we get. Alright, so this one got up to like 59.7 and then slowly started coming down. I'm going to call like 59.5. No auto shut off, so 59.5 on this one. So far, they're all about 59 or 60 if they were working. Otherwise, these two actually were not working. Let's go ahead and reset the meter. Alright, next up we got these portable hand pumps. Now, me personally, I prefer these little portable hand pumps instead of the ones that fit over the whole jar lid. These generally make a better seal, may or may not pump as good, but these also could be used easily on other devices such as vacuum bags, which I like to freeze my frozen fruits in. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and put this on and get it started up. Alright, sounds like it has a nice, strong, powerful motor. Sucking pretty good. Alright, this one looks like it performed pretty well. Looks like we got 59.5, pretty much on par with some of the other vacuum pumps. You know, here's the thing, guys. A lot of these vacuum pumps may even use the same vacuum motor on the inside, just with a different outside facing thing, because they're all within like a similar range, 59 to 60. Alright, so let's pop this off and check out the next one. Alright guys, next pump we're testing is the ThermoMaven. This one looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and put it on and get it started. Alright, that was a solid pump. 61.6 is what we ended up at. Alright guys, next pump is an interesting one. It has a unique shape, kind of like a gun or a thermometer or something. Let's go ahead. I do like this connection point, the silicone. Let's go ahead and put this on and see what it gets to. Alright, once it's stuck on, you can let it go and let's see how much it can suck. Alright, no auto shut off. Looks like it got to 59.8. Alright guys, last electric pump. It just is a CL0811. I like, it's kind of like a pencil style, nice and tall. Let's see how this does. Alright, this guy actually performed the best. It's 62.4, doesn't auto shut off, so we're going to stop it manually. Alright guys, so what did we learn so far? Basically all the electric pumps, 2 of which were basically defective, didn't work properly. All the other ones pretty much got in the same range. 59 to 62, or maybe you could roughly say about 60%. So despite having some higher KPA claims, they still just got around 60. The best performing one was actually this one, 62.4. If you want an electric pump, that's actually quite inexpensive. The CL0811. Second best performing pump was a 61.6. The ThermoMaven, which is actually, this was a nice style pump. Both these are rechargeable with a USB-C. That being said, what I'll tell you guys is that no electric pump that I've bought on Amazon ever gets close to what a manual pump can do. Of course, these are easy. You press the button, you walk away, gets about 60% of the oxygen removed, but these manual pumps can remove more because they have a much bigger diaphragm. It's this whole length right here. Now, this is an inexpensive pump on Amazon. It comes with some, jar lids with a valve that are plastic that can get cruded up and, basically harbor bacteria. It does have a white gasket, so these are better. But nonetheless, this is a very inexpensive, cheap pump. There's just like an O-ring in there, and it's just a dumb pump, guys. There's a simple thing on here, and you just pump it up. I mean, this can't cost more than, I don't know, make 25 cents in China or something. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and test this pump to see how much more superior it is than all these electric pumps that I've just tested. So for this, I will have to do some work. We're going to go ahead and throw it on the test rig, and let's get pumping. All right, 40 pumps. Let's see what we got. As you guys can see, we got basically 78.5. So that's quite impressive. 78.5. That's almost 80% of the oxygen removed. So that's about another 18 points or 18% more oxygen than any of these electric pumps. Yes, it was some work to pump that up. And as you get to the, maybe from pump 20 to 40, it removes significantly less oxygen, so you could probably easily get up to maybe 75 by just pumping it 10, maybe 20 times. You don't have to go to the extreme that I do to get all the oxygen removed. That being said, another cheater tip is, if you have both these pumps, you could use this pump. That pump will easily get you down to 62.4, and then what you do is then you use this pump to get you another 15, 16 points, right? So that's the dual combination, the easy method, and then you'll have to pump this just a few more times, right? That being said, this is, once again, a breakable pump. You will probably break these. I've basically pulled this so hard that the handle dislodged, and, this thing is like just, look at this, like the play in there is insanity. But yeah, you guys get what you pay for. Last but not least, I'm going to share with you guys the best pump on the market. This is the Pure Vacuum MVP pump. While all these products on the table, you guys can see from Amazon, in my opinion, are literally disposable. If the battery goes out, the electric pump stops working, you throw them away. When the plastic on this breaks, the O-rings give out. This is non-user serviceable. It's basically, once again, thrown away. With the Pure Vacuum pump, this is completely user serviceable. It's made out of aircraft quality aluminum. Also uses Viton seals. For those of you guys that are diesel heads, you know that they use Viton seals in diesel engines because it doesn't degrade with the chemicals, right? Very high quality. It also has a check valve in there, so it'll allow you always to remove the pump easily, as well as, prevent air loss from the container when removing it, right? This easily comes apart. You can easily just unscrew this, lube it up, clean it up should you need to, and, put it back together. So this is like a one-time purchase. So, you got to ask yourself the question, do you want to buy something from Amazon, like a lot of things you guys have bought from Amazon in the past, and it's cheap, I get it, I buy things from Amazon, all these are from Amazon. Buy it, it works for a while, then you throw it away. You've created more landfill waste now in American landfills that formerly came from China. Or you could buy a pump, a one-time investment that it will be here and will last you a lifetime. What is a better investment in your hard-earned money? For me personally, it's definitely quality tools that last a long time. Whether I'm gardening, whether I'm in the kitchen, I buy quality so that I don't have to keep buying junk, all right? So next up, let's go ahead and test the Pure pump to see how much oxygen it can remove. All right, so on the Pure pump, it's going to be a lot easier than the cheap Chinese plastic pump because this is a wider diameter. This is a more narrow diameter, plus this is fully lubricated, has a one-way check valve, made out of quality parts, so pulling it up is a lot easier. There's less resistance in there. So let's get started. All right, guys, after pumping with the Pure pump, let's see what we're at. All right, looks like we got 80.6, so we have removed 80% of the oxygen. Pure makes a claim on their website that you can remove 80 to 85% of the oxygen, and that has been falling within the range that I get with my tools, right? Every pump's a bit different, depending on the jar and what you're using will be different, but it's always going to remove about 80 to 85%. This is at least 20 points more, 20% more oxygen than any of these electric pumps. and a few points more than the cheapo Amazon pump that I guarantee will break, all right? Nonetheless, you get pretty decent performance from this pump, but once again, the Pure is the winner at 80% removal of oxygen. All right, guys, so I want to do one final demo for you guys today and show you guys the importance of removing more oxygen and the difference it can make. I most often store my juices under vacuum. I also make salads in a big batch on the weekends normally and then store it in jars so I could eat them throughout the week. I also make raw vegan soups that I store in jars. Also, I make heat processed steam foods in the Instant Pot that I'll cook and then steam, and then I'll put in the mason jars with a Pure vacuum lid so I could eat it easily throughout the week. This allows me to do meal prep and allows me to know that I'm retaining the most nutrients because they're not going to get oxidized due to the excess oxygen that all these pumps, all these electric pumps on the table will leave in 20% more oxygen than the Pure MVP pump. So next up, we're going to go ahead and do an actual test so you guys can see the difference between like a 62% oxygen removal and the Pure pump, which will give you guys an 80% oxygen removal. All right, guys, for this last test, we're basically going to just use a mason jar, 16 ounce, with a jumbo size marshmallow, right? So you're going to see what happens to the marshmallow when it is under vacuum at different pressures. So we got the same Pure lids. These are laser etched on the back, so there's no painting. Once again, silicone, gasket, and valve there. So we're going to put that carefully on each one. We're going to go ahead and then use the winning pump, the CL018 on one side, and then I will use the Pure pump on the other. So watch closely as we vacuum these up. All right, as you guys can see, I'm done vacuuming in the Pure. It expanded a lot, and then now it's shrinking back down, whereas on the CL018 pump, the marshmallow got larger, but it's not yet shrinking back down, right? Let's go ahead and turn off this pump and show you guys the difference, all right? So right now, the difference may not look good for the Pure pump because it actually got really large, but then shrunk back down, whereas the CL0811 pump, the marshmallow is still big. And that's because we removed the air from the chamber and the marshmallow grew. But then what happened is because we removed so much air, then the marshmallow was damaged. So let's go ahead and give you guys a close-up on letting the air back in both these marshmallows. So the CL018 pump with 62% oxygen removal, the marshmallow pretty much went back to its normal size. Now on the other marshmallow, let the air back in. Look at this. This marshmallow is completely deformed. You guys can see it's really shrunk in. We removed the air and now it's just not fluffy. It's actually, for Easter, we just had Easter. This is like a Peeps. Like the Peeps is it's a marshmallow, but it's more firm. Maybe they put the Peeps under a vacuum to kind of get them that texture. But now the one in the weaker vacuum pretty much still flexes back because like we didn't damage it, right? This is what can happen when you store your juices without all the oxygen removed, right? This is showing that this marshmallow still has air in it because we didn't remove it all, but when you remove exceedingly amounts of air, right, it crushes the marshmallow and it can't even form back to its original shape, right? So yeah, most places will give you the marshmallow demo, show you it gets bigger, but what they're not showing you is that if you pull enough vacuum, it'll also get smaller. This is really the power of the Pure vacuum pump. So, you know, in this demo, I've tested all the Amazon pumps, right? And if you want the best Amazon pumps, it's the CL0811 or the manual pump. 62%, 78.5%, right? These ones are way less money. Once again, these are also disposable. That being said, if you guys want to buy the best pump, buy it once and rebuild it, you know, clean it, reuse it, give it to your, you know, offspring, because it's a lifetime pump with, you know, high quality, durable aircraft aluminum. Then you want to get the Pure MVP vacuum pump. Of course, I also recommend you guys get the Pure MVP vacuum lids. I recommend the kit with 12 lids and the single pump. This will get you started so you can vacuum save and do meal prep, you know, in large batches or juices like I do, or vacuum blended smoothies, or just save your foods, right? Once again, these valve lids are very easy to remove, unlike the flat lids that you got to use the little, you know, beer opening tool, bend the lids, break them, and those gaskets on those lids will not hold up over time. You're just going to end up keep on buying more lids, right? I encourage you guys to do it right the first time. If you guys want to get the best deal on the Pure MVP pump, you can visit them at bit.ly/Pure MVP and make sure you guys use the coupon code DJ5. Pure MVP pump and the lids are the best solution for storing your juices and other fruits and vegetables and plant foods, beans, rice, grains, nuts, and seeds in mason jars that I've ever found. When you guys do use the coupon code, you'll save a few dollars, but also Pure will also share with me a small commission so I continue to waste my money on Amazon pumps that don't work and show you guys, you know, the importance of buying the proper pump the first time, which to me is the Pure MVP. If you guys enjoyed this episode learning about all the different Amazon pumps and what they don't tell you, please be sure to give this a big thumbs up. Also, more importantly, share this with other people that want to store their juices, that do prepping, that want to store foods without the oxygen so they last the longest amount of time. They want to remove 80% of the oxygen instead of 60% of the oxygen, which is what most of these pumps actually did. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss my new and upcoming episodes. I've committed 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up, what new appliances or products I'll be testing so you guys can enhance your diet through the power of plants. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come. And finally, be sure to check past episodes. Past episodes are full of knowledge. Over 800 episodes at this time on this channel dedicated to teach you guys all about the different appliances and other kitchen tools that allow you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables in the best ways possible. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuice.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors.